countries in the region underscore their basic commitment to moving over time to a more flexible market-determined exchange rate system. You've seen a lot of progress in that direction in the region over the last several years. You've seen the Chinese government commit to that as a basic part of their reform agenda. And I think you're seeing very encouraging changes, not just here in the region, but in China around the world. Growth strengthened. And it's not just that recovery's started, but the basic shape of the recovery is encouraging. Americans are saving more, and you're seeing domestic demand strengthen in this region, emerging market economies around the world, and that's a very important thing.
But as far as the yuan is concerned, where it is right now, is it taking jobs away from everyone else? I mean, as Paul Krugman indicated?
I think it's very important to look at what China has actually done. China has put in place very, very substantial support for growth, for strengthening demand, for shifting the composition of demand. And that process is going to take some time. It doesn't happen overnight. But I think what you've seen so far is very encouraging. Their external surpluses have come down. As I said, you've seen domestic spending investment start to accelerate. And that's going to be very important to the global economy going forward.
So what's the message you'd like to send to China? When President Barack Obama meets President Hu Jintao in China, what would be the message where the yuan is concerned?
Well, as we've said, it's very important to the United States economy and to the global economy that you see China move over time to a pattern of growth led by domestic demand, domestic consumption, domestic investment. I think they're committed to that. They've got a very impressive, ambitious reform agenda. You're starting to see the initial signs of that in the pattern of growth emerging. I think it's going to be important. And Asia itself is leading the global economy, leading recovery. Growth here more rapid than it is outside the rest of the world. And growth is going to be a source of strength for the United States.
China has its own gripe. I mean, it's the biggest holder of U.S. Treasuries, and it's been pretty concerned about where the U.S. dollar is right now. How prepared are you? What are you willing to do to make the U.S. dollar more attractive?
No one's going to care more about this than me. And this president, and we are committed to making sure that we not just repair the damage caused by this crisis, put in place a stronger recovery, restore confidence and stability of our financial system, but as growth recovers and as growth is reestablished led by private demand, and we will move to bring our fiscal position down to a more sustainable position. You look at the healthcare reforms now working its way through the Congress, they're going to make a very important contribution to addressing our long-term deficits. That's going to be very important to our long-term fiscal health. But there's more things we're going to do too, but we're committed to that. It's very important in the United States, and very important that Americans recognize that recovery in the United States will be weaker unless the world is confident, Americans are confident that we're going to have the ability to bring our fiscal position back to a sustainable position over time. These deficits are high now, but they're high because of the cost of the crisis and the steps we had to take to fix the damage caused by the crisis. But they'll come down over time. Right now, our challenge is growth.
But is there more that can be done by the U.S.? I mean, look at where the dollar is right now. It's dropped 7% against the euro. It's dropped against all 16 major currencies that we track at Bloomberg. Is there a need for you to back up your action? You've reiterated again and again that you're for a strong dollar policy.
Well, thanks for giving me the chance to repeat that. It's very important in the United States, very important to the global economy that we have a strong dollar. And it's very important to work together with countries around the world to lay a framework, a foundation for a more stable international financial system. We recognize the dollar plays a very important role in the global system. The U.S. economy plays a very important role in the system. That brings special responsibilities on the United States. And so we're going to work very hard to continue to strengthen our economies, to fix what was broken in our economy, and to bring our fiscal position down to a more sustainable position over time. If you look at what we've achieved so far, the world should be encouraged by what we've seen. We've seen a capital start to come back into the Treasury as banks repay with interest. We're likely to have to borrow substantially less to fix this financial crisis than we initially anticipated. We can use those resources to debt reduction. And so we're seeing important signs of progress, not just recovery, but making sure we start to make the changes necessary for a long-term fiscal prudence.